Alright, now say for example, let me get into the time value of money buttons. Now you might be having this particular row on your calculator in a different color. If you see, there is a little grid that has been made within which the calculator has placed these 5 buttons over here. Now these 5 buttons are going to be working absolutely separately from the calculator. So if I want to clear all the values within these 5 buttons, if you notice on the FV button, you have a clear TVM written. The clear TVM stands for clear time value of money. I'll press second and FV, and everything stored inside these values will get set to 0, a default value 0. It is all going to be cleared out. Everybody with me on this? Alright. After that, I'll start entering. N is the number of periods, not the number of years. I by Y is the rate per period. PV is the present value. PMT is a regular amount that you need to deposit, that's your annuity amount, and FV is the future value. It is possible you have only a present value and future value and nothing in PMT. You may not enter PMT in that case. It is possible you have a regular annuity with no future value right now and you want to calculate PV. You can ignore FV. So you might be inputting 3 values or 4 values and getting the answer for the 4th value or the 5th value. In the section of bonds, you are going to be generally entering 4 values and trying to get the 5th one out of it. Let's say we are talking about a $1,000 bond. So 1000 becomes your face value, your future value and face value both. I'll just press F. The moment you press FV, it gets stored into the FV bracket, and you see FV equals to 1000 on the screen. That says that FV has been stored. You don't need to press enter over here, because as I told you that this line, the third line over here, NI by Y PV PMT is going to be a separate function from the whole calculator. Now next I enter, say for example it's a 9% coupon payment semi-annually. That means you're going to be paying a $90 coupon on a semi-annual basis. That means it's going to be a 45 payment per annum, per 6 months. So you will enter 45. I don't have to press CEC. Once this FV has stored, I can directly start typing. I typed 45, I press PMT, and it gets stored. And it gets stored automatically. I don't have to press the button enter. Then the next one is going to be, let's say the required yield is 8%. Per annum compounded semi-annually. 8% per annum compounded semi-annually, because you need to use a semi-annual yield. I by Y is going to stand for the rate per period. So semi-annually, 8% semi-annually means 4 is going to be your I by Y. The moment I press I by Y, it gets stored. I don't have to press CEC and then start storing. Say for example, it's a 10-year bond. Now I press 10 and I press enter. That is wrong, because N stands for number of periods, not the number of years. So if it is a semi-annual bond, I am supposed to be entering 20. Now you don't have to delete all the values. You don't have to do a second and FV and then do the work. What you could do is you could again type 20 and press N, and the whole thing gets overwritten. So any mistake you're making, you can always overwrite. Say for example, I forgot to do clear work and I started saving the data. I've saved the data in 3 buttons, and let's say my FV was 0. You can always type 0 and press FV, and your data will get overridden. So you don't have to delete all that you entered, again do a clear TVM, and again start entering values in the buttons over here. Everybody with me? And suppose I'm supposed to be computing PV. All I do is compute PV. The CPT button stands for the term compute. So CPT button is compute basically. CPT button on the first button on the left side is compute. Compute PMT, PV gives you the present value. Right? Now if you notice, your present value is turning out to be with a minus sign, and your FV and PMT was with a positive sign. Calculator needs to know whether the cash flows are an inflow or an outflow. So you need to mark the cash flows with the opposite sign. Now suppose I am a bond purchaser. I will be paying 1067 right now to purchase the bond, and the company is going to be in turn giving me 45 and 1000 at the end. So 45 and 1000 is an inflow for me. I place that as a positive sign, and minus 1067 is an outflow for me, because I have to pay this amount to purchase the bond. And when you're talking about from the company's point of view, 1067 would be the positive cash flow for the company. So if I enter and 1000 would be the negative cash flow for the company. 1045 would be the negative cash flow for the company, and when I compute PV, I get exactly the same answer without the negative sign, because the company is receiving 1067 today and the company is paying 45 and 1000 later. So when you're looking at these values, the outflows and inflows need to be of the opposite sign. It doesn't matter as to what sign you are placing for which cash flow. outflows and inflows. The outflows and inflows need to be of the opposite sign. That is what you need to remember over here. Everybody comfortable till here? The next portion is your annuity portion, wherein I'm expecting the cash flows to be occurring at the beginning of the period. Say for example, if the cash flows are occurring at the beginning of the period and then you want to calculate the value, right? In that case, you have to set the calculator for a beginning mode. Now, if you notice on the word PMT, you have the term written BGN. BGN stands for beginning mode. If you want the calculator to assume that the cash flows are happening at the beginning of the period, second PMT, you see end is written, you need to do second enter. Until unless you press second enter, you do not get the BGN mode stored on the calculator. The moment you do that, if you notice, a very small BGN word alphabet appears on the top right of the screen over here. If you see in very small, you have the BGN mode appearing on the screen. You switch off the calculator, switch on the calculator, and the BGN mode does not go away. So that is why when I'm doing the time value of money session with you all, I demonstrate how without using the BGN mode, you can do the BGN mode question. Because if you forget to remove the BGN mode over here, the rest of your paper will be solved using the BGN mode. You can set the BGN mode using second PMT, second enter, and you see the BGN mode goes away. The second enter is basically set. So when I'm pressing enter, it is to store values, and above the button enter, you see the word set is written. That set stands for setting something. So second PMT, second enter is the setting the BGN mode, and if you see the BGN mode appears, and second PMT, second enter is going to remove the BGN mode. Switching off and switching on the calculator will not do the trick. Now say for example, I have set the beginning mode and I'm not being able to remove it for whatsoever reason, or there is something wrong with my calculator. What you could do is, there is a reset word written on the plus minus sign on this button, above this button if you see. Everybody with me? Second reset equals to, and then second reset enter. And when you press enter, it gets back to the factory settings, it gets back to the default settings. So second reset, enter, and back to the factory settings. So you can always reset your calculator back to the factory settings, back to the default